Welcome back to Mike's RC Corner. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I got an unboxing and driving demo for you. This RC was sent to me from gearbest.com, and thank them for sending it. This is a model from RUI PENG, the RP-05. It's a 1/16 scale Truggy truck, ready to run. So down here, just got some generic specifics about it. Ready to run, 4-wheel drive. They say it goes 40 miles plus. Comes with a radio, of course, and a receiver servo, and a 1500 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery. This has a couple different models. You can see here it also comes in the RP-04. They probably use the same box. This is kind of like the monster truck type feel for it, and you can also see that it's got the lay down shocks and brush motor. You can put in dual servos, so pretty good. This thing is well packaged, so let's take it out of the box and let's see what all comes inside. Sit tight. Alright, we got this thing out of the box. As you can see, we got it all spread over here, so let's just knock off some of the things, the smaller things here, and then we can move on to the truck itself. First I'll start with the charger that comes with it. Now this one came with a North American style plug, pretty cool, and it's got charging off the balance wire. It's a 2-cell again. Has a light here, red when it's charging, it'll turn green when it's done. 850 milliamp hours pumping through this thing, so you could probably expect for it to be charged in about 2 hours. The battery again is 1500 milliamp hours, 2-cell lithium-ion battery. It does warm up. It's the warning: when you drive it, the battery tends to get warm. Nothing crazy though. And it's got that mini Tamiya connector, Tamiya. So I'm not too impressed with that, but anyways, that seems to be quite a common thing on these type of RCs. I'll move this stuff out of the way. I'll move on to the radio next. The radio is pretty cool. It fits my hand really well. It feels comfortable. The wheel is plastic, and it is springy. It's kind of tight. Never seen anything like this yet, but I imagine that's the steering trim. So we'll see how that works out. Pretty cool. It's got some servo reversing switch up here, the on-off switch, and it's got a bind button. Yeah, of course, LEDs showing as on-off. Pretty decent radio. I'm pretty satisfied with it. And of course on the bottom here, let's pop this open, and 4 AA's will power this radio. So the radio is pretty decent. No antenna sticking out or anything, so yeah, it looks pretty good. So we'll see how it goes when we do the test driving this truck. Moving on to what we get here. We get a bag, and we get some stuff inside. So let's pull it out and see what's in the bag. Of course, we got a manual, and looks like English Chinese crossover. This has got all what comes with it. Tells you all the part numbers, which is pretty cool. Shows you some blow-ups and how it all goes together, and that'll be helpful if you tend to go get some parts, and we'll talk about that later. In case you need to fix it, then you get the parts, you have the part numbers. Over here you get a pretty decent screwdriver. It looks to be a 1.5 millimeter hex on it, so I imagine that will be the most common screw size on this RC truck, so that's pretty handy. I'll move that over here. You get another smaller Allen wrench, probably for grub screws for the pinions and stuff like that. In this bag here, you get more linkages. You get another servo horn, and of course you can do dual turning servos on this, so I think that's pretty handy to have. They have a cross wrench for taking the wheel nuts off, a couple other things to make the steering rack go, and it looks like they include another differential gear. I'm not too sure about that, But that's what they threw in this bag extra. Preload clips for the shocks. So there you go. And now we're down to the main event itself. This 1/16 scale Truggy. Now, it's called the Extremity Sovereign. I'm not quite sure what that means. Best Racing, you got some words on it, but overall the body looks pretty good on it. It has the actual model number, the RP-05 on it. Looks pretty good. Wheels on it have foam in it. Hard plastic rims. They look pretty good. Pretty good for a stock tire. Now, you might be scratching your head and saying to yourself, this truck looks kind of familiar. And you might be right. Because here is a Traxxas 1/16 scale E-Revo. Mind you, this one's a little beaten up. I got this in a trade. Someone beat the crap out of it. And I got a pretty fair value trade. Still needs a little more TLC. But you get the idea how this thing compares. The wheelbase is identical. Everything is pretty much on spec from this, and I'll show you maybe a little bit differences that I've noticed so far. The bodies actually don't quite fit on. They've spread out the body posts in the back side to be wider than the stock in the front, but the front posts are basically the same width. So, well, I think that's a part you can even switch out. So even if you have one of these, you could probably buy a body really cheap off GearBest or whoever else sells this truck online. So let's take the lid off and see what's all inside quick. And you'll see here, I'll do it over here too, it's a bit of a different setup. This is the brushed 550 size can on this one, and it's got the servo upright over here. Over here the servo is upright on the left side, and that's for the fact that inside this side compartment is where the receiver ESC combo is. So the servo wire tucks inside here. The battery lead is here, and it uses the same type of connector to connect to the brushed motor. It has a aluminum heatsink on it. Outside of here, it has an on-off switch right here. So interesting enough, so you don't have to open that compartment up to turn the ESC on. I'm just going to put the body clip back on so it doesn't fall out. The other side is empty, so that's where your battery would fit in, and it fits in quite easily and has plenty of room, and you can put different size batteries in there, but you have to be mindful that that's programmed for Li-ion, and it might be different than a LiPo. So if you put a LiPo in here, it will work. It will low voltage cut off, but I believe the Li-ion voltage cutoff is lower than a LiPo cutoff. So you might want to put a LiPo alarm on just to be safe. But research that up yourself. So again, this is where you would mount if you want to do 2 steering servos. Everything looks pretty similar. One thing I will say it's a lot different is the shocks. The shocks here do not dial down. They're not adjustable, hence the preload that you need, and they seem okay. I'm not sure if there's any oil in them. The ones over here definitely don't have oil on this Traxxas. If it did, they leaked out from the previous owner, and you can see I have them really dialed up. I've only taken this out a couple times, but I've had them dialed up just to give a little better shock thing there. Anyways, so yeah, you can see they pretty much look identical from the top. These ones, of course, are empty pods for batteries, but they fold out. These ones fold open, swing open. So I pretty much can say, I would say probably just looking at this, besides the motor mount and a lot of things, I think the arms, the bumpers, all that kind of stuff are pretty much identical. And I'd say you have about at least 70% crossover in parts. So something breaks on this. Maybe 70 is a little high. Something breaks on this. If you go to your Traxxas part store or hobby shop, or even like in Canada, Best Buy sells them, and even some Walmarts, you can get spare parts, and you could fix this up and put Traxxas parts on it. Now it's a little different here in the back. The shock system, how it mounts, and it goes down. The linkage over here goes that way. Where over here it's a little bit different style. The bar, it goes through the arm here. It's outside the arm, stuff like that. And underneath, it looks pretty similar. As you can tell right there. Now, one big difference between this and the Traxxas is the drive shafts going out to the outdrives going to the wheels. Now they have the Traxxas one with the plastic sliding in and out together. That's a very common Traxxas part on the 1/16 scale RCs. On these ones, they use metal dog bones. They also use metal linkages here. So yeah, it's pretty sturdy though, I must say. And I really don't see that being a big disadvantage. It would be better if it was CVD, but I think the dog bones may work out just fine on this. So, and that's what the driving test is for. And it'll be interesting to see. But you notice too, same setup underneath. The steering rack is the same down here. It's got the slot for the dual, and on this one too, same thing. Go over here, there's the other spot and the protecting guard. So if you want to go dual servo. Now, one thing I will say about this is a 5-wire servo, so it's not the same as a 3-wire servo. And I don't see a 3-wire, or I don't see another 5-wire servo port on here. They just have open ports for LED lights. You can add LEDs into this. So that there, I would say, is if you want to swap this out and put like more of a brushed ESC in that's not stock and that accepts 3-wire, you can set it up exactly like the Traxxas. So you definitely would have to upgrade that part. Now, as you can see, the cost on this, you can click on the link in the video notes and check out the cost of this, but I'll guarantee you this thing is probably about half the price of that for sure. And so it's up to you. A lot of people may have problems this being pretty much a copy of that. It is what it is. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm pretty happy with it. I love to test it. I am going to take this out right now and give it a test, so stay tuned for that, guys. Hey guys, I'm just going to insert this, may show a little out of sequence here. After I was done running this thing, I noticed a couple things. Over here we got a little wheelie bar. Isn't this cool? This rear spoiler pivots and it's got a wheelie bar right there, and I'll protect the back end from flipping over. So if you go to put this up to like 14.8 volts and run it, it's going to wheelie and that will protect it. That is really cool. And the other thing I wanted to point out, the radio, I noticed it after I was shutting it off that it has LEDs on the front. I don't know if you're going to drive this thing out at night in the evening, but you got LEDs on the front. Pretty cool. Never seen that on a radio. So anyways, this will be in front of the running video part, so it may be a little out of sequence, but I thought I'd show this to you guys. Cool little features. Alright, on with the running video. Okay guys, we're outside. I got the RP-05, the Extremity Sovereign. It's already bound to the radio. I've already trimmed it. I must say, I do like the trim system on it. I'm going to apologize right off the bat for wind noise. It's like breezing like 25 kilometers, 30 kilometers all the time and gusting up to about 45. It's a cool, windy fall day here. It's only about 8 degrees Celsius. Big turnaround from a few days ago, earlier this week, when it was 27 degrees outside. So it can happen here where we live here in Ontario. Anyways, she's all bound up, looks good, the radio feels good. And let's take this thing out for a little spin. Yeah, he's got that brush 390 size motor in it. Get a bit of a feel for it here. Bombing around. Ah! My little man loves it here. He loves being chased by it. Just centering the servo, the steering trim here. It's pretty cool. I'd say this thing is going I'd say this car goes probably around, just centering the servo, it's really sensitive. There we go. I'm happy with that there. I'd say this car's doing about 30 kilometers an hour. And I'm sure if you bump it up, I think what they're advertising on the 40 plus is this ESC can handle if you put I have to look into it, either 3-cell or 4-cell LiPo or Li-ion into this, just like the Traxxas. You double up the batteries in series and you get the 14.4 voltage, and that will get you the higher speed that this can handle, just like the Traxxas Mini E-Revo. It's really responsive steering. I'm impressed with that. Definitely have to look at putting some shock oil in these shocks, because it is a bit bouncy, but not too bad. But on a good kick up from, say, jumping up on here from the road onto the driveway, it does bounce a bit. There's enough clearance. It handles through the grass really well. I really like that. I wouldn't necessarily drive this on grass for long stretches, but if you're just busting through the front lawn like this, 30 seconds here and there isn't going to hurt it at all. Again, there's a lot of room for improvement in this car. You can take out the stock stuff and then upgrade it. There's plenty of room for a bigger motor or a brushless system. You can double up on the servos, and if you put like a hobby grade 3-wire servo in it with a brushless system, or more of a hobby grade ESC, spend a few more bucks, and it definitely come in a lot under the price point of E-Revo. So this thing is really solid. I don't see at this current speed any of it breaking. Just gonna go over here and get my son a little involved. He loves these things. Sometimes when I do these videos, I feel like I'm ignoring him, but we have so much fun off camera with these things. So anyways, what I like to do though is take it over here down the street. Here's a look of it busting around on some loose gravel. Really handles well. Look at it go. A lot of fun here. 4-wheel drive really comes in handy. Just booting around. This is a lot of fun. Look at kick up the gravel. Here we go. Busting out on the road. Bring her back in. Oh, really cool. Hey, does that look good, Tayson? Yeah. You want to give it a push? 3, 2, 1. Away she goes. Cool stuff. We're definitely going to have fun with this one. We'll get the mini E-Revo up and running, give it some TLC, and we'll have practically 2 identical vehicles. And down the road, and within a year or so, my son's only 3, and we'll have 2 of the same type of RCs we can run together, and that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm really impressed with this one. I like the durability of it. I can see that it's a really strong build, and I'm really not worried about if any parts do break. If I do like jump her up and put 4S in here, it'd be crazy anyways. But if anything does break, I'm pretty confident the part that will break I can pick up at the local Best Buy or local hobby shop. They have all the Traxxas parts, or they're super easy to get online from any hobby store or eBay. So guys, the RP-05, thanks to my friends at GearBest for sending this along. I really like the look of this E-Revo clone. It does a trick. I think they also have the Summit Series one in their store. Have a look at that. I'll have everything in the notes. Check it out there. Alright, we're going to end it here. Sorry again, apologize for any wind noise. If you got any questions or comments, leave it below. Alright, take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.